Alright, here I am back with another video. This time I just wanted to show off the inventory a little bit further now. I've actually gotten a lot more done on it since like the last video. Um, there's only a few more things that I really need to do to make it completed, I think, and then I can start working on other things like skills or um, some other piece of the game. So at this point right now, I changed all the colors, so I kind of kept the white title bar theme going, but I decided to go with a little bit darker for um, the other areas here, and all the buttons are kind of darker now. And I've matched that now with the action bars and all that stuff. So um, these the new theme is kind of like, I think it's really working for me. Um, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to be continuing to play around with stuff, but and then of course the health and stamina oxygen and sustenance bars, they all got kind of a revamp. I just changed them to kind of match the theme a little bit better because the white was just like, it was pretty bright when it was nighttime, and so it was kind of standing out quite a bit, and it was a little bit hard to deal with. And it was also when I had items inside the inventory here, they have like a white glow around them, and the white or the lighter colored buttons that I had were kind of contrasting with that, or not contrasting with that enough. And so I really wanted them to kind of like show that white glow. So that's why, another reason why I darkened it up. But I also inserted a pause menu, and this does work. So if you hit exit, it exits. It actually closes the game. The settings aren't. That's not set yet, so that doesn't really do anything. I can push that as much as I want. It doesn't do anything. But the resume will go back into the game. And if I'm in the inventory menu and I hit escape, it'll close the inventory menu. And then if I hit escape again, it'll go back, into the pause menu. So that functionality is all there. I'm going to go ahead and walk kind of through my base here and take a look out there. And um, I'm going to go grab the items, because what I actually did was I finished setting up. So first of all, this is a new fix. I set up the actual world space text right here. So the text actually will continue to say like what it is. It'll say what the item is. If I come over here, it'll say, oxygen tank. And if I look away and everything, it'll come back. It's always there, unless if I'm not standing near it. Um, so that's another thing that I did that I really like. That's helping. And so now when you grab the items, they go into the inventory. They're there. And I can go over here and grab these. Maybe grab this one here. And then maybe I'll grab a couple others. But basically, I also implemented something new, and this is why I'm going to grab all these. There's like a feature where now I can actually drop the items back into the world. So if I want to put all these rocks inside the building, I can go out and grab as much as I want, or as much as I can carry, and then I can go put them back inside somewhere. If I wanted to store them in a vault or something, I could do that too, but that's a separate thing. This is a vault I haven't really designed yet. Um, the vault would be just another inventory system, but I can take these back inside with me. I've got them all. The inventory's full. So I can go back in here. Of course, I can't run right now because I didn't put that key back on, um, which I need to go back and program, reset up the shift key to run. So if I go back inside here, I can go in and I can lay all the rocks down if I want to right here on the floor, or whatever. So you just click on them now. And this is the new tooltip menu that I made, and it's actually refined quite a bit since the last time I made the video. Now it will actually show them all, and like it was last time, but the actual buttons work now. So if you use the items, they'll all work. If you drop the item, it'll drop it in the world, and then of course if you hit cancel, it'll just close the menu. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that you can see this. So when you click on this, if you hit drop, that's what I need to do. Fix that. So when you hit I, it closes that menu. So anyway, you hit drop, it puts the amethyst back out into the world right there. And then if you want to drop it again, click this one. You can drop that one right there. If you want to click this one, oops, I just picked it back up again. You can drop that one. And if I want to drop them both on top of each other, I can. But They'll just kind of be right there within the world space next to each other. And so now I got 3 rocks right here in my base here. That really could be, you know, if you wanted to trade with friends or whatever, you can just sit there and drop them on the ground and have somebody else pick them up. Then you can pick them back up and still use them. So if you use the item, you still get the credit for them. You still get the points or the resources, whatever. And let's go ahead and use my MRE now. I can drop it too. I can put the MRE down on the ground, and it's still going to show me the text. It's still going to say everything. I can drop the oxygen tank, puts it right back down on the ground. And then if I want to pick it back up again, just walk back over to it, grab it, whatever you want to do. And then I want to use this, I can just go, boom, and it fills back up my sustenance. And same with this. This would work with the oxygen, but I don't have any, there's nothing that's removing oxygen right now. So I have it set up, but it's not, like, there's no trigger for it to actually remove oxygen right now. So when I go outside, it's not like it triggers something to tell me that I'm outside yet. But the oxygen would be removed if I set up the trigger because it already is there. It's like already programming for it before it is there. There's just no trigger. Again, I could use this anyways though if I wanted to, and it does have a sound effect. And so that would give me back oxygen if I was down lower. And I can still come over here, which I'm going to actually add I'm going to add like a little menu for this system right here. So it's going to open the inventory, I think, when you access this, and then it's going to open up a button that, or like a little menu that says, you know, would you like to buy inventory slots, and then you can purchase however many inventory slots you want based on how much currency you have here. And but it's going to be more like a crafting machine later. Like it's going to be, you'll actually be kind of like crafting them instead of purchasing them. It'll just say craft inventory slot or whatever. Right now it's just I can press E and it puts it in there, and I have 860 credits. It costs 200 per, so I can keep buying more if I want to. And now I can't because I'm out, but I've only got 60 left. But you know, I can still go out into the world and grab more items and fill them into those spots and stuff. The only thing I haven't yet programmed is the ability to drag items back and forth into the menu while keeping their text. So right now, it'll tell me the text if the item is in this specific slot. If I move it to a different slot, it won't tell me the text because the text didn't get moved with the item. Because it's just not programmed yet to do that. So I have to go back and tell it, hey, I want you to move the text that goes along with that to this specific slot, and so forth. And then when you click on it, it would draw that information. But if I put it back in that first slot, it's going to show it again because that's where that text is. It's associated with that slot at this point. You can still use the item from these other locations. You just can't see the text for it. So if I drop it, it would go right there back where I picked it up. And, you know, it doesn't matter what slot it's in, so then I can still use it too and gain resources. So anyway, those are the major changes since the last video. Most of it is actually really big changes for me because, first of all, the name, the floating text above the items, that was something that was a serious issue for a while. Like, I couldn't figure out why. I had this issue where it would disappear if you looked off screen. If the item went off the screen and then you came back on, the floating text would no longer be there anymore, and it would never come back. And it was just an issue that I've had for like over a year, and then I didn't really have time to sit down and work on it at all this semester during school, and so I let it go for a while. And then when finally, like last night, I just put some time into it to figure out what the issue was, and resolved it. And so now I can look at these rocks, and I mean, it's gonna, as long as I'm standing here, the text is gonna be there, you know, and it's always gonna be there. If I walk out of the bounds that it has, then it disappears. So it's not having to clutter up the call stack. And so, anyway, That was one of the major changes. The other one was this little inventory tooltip thing here, which I really like. That's something that I've been wanting to do, and I just didn't have the time a while back. So we got that, and then of course the pause menu was just is just a thing that I wanted to add because it's nice to have a pause menu so you can actually pause the game, especially when you have um, actual physical bars that deteriorate, like your sustenance drains. And so if I'm sitting here and I'm running the game and I'm playing and testing it and stuff, like if I run out of sustenance, my health will go all the way down and then I'll die because I've already programmed all that to happen. And so it's nice to be able to just pause it, let it go for, like, if I want to walk away for 15 minutes or something and come back and he's not dead, I can just come back and do whatever I was doing. Of course, it's also an essential feature for any game. You have to be able to pause a game. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You can drag and drop items into the action slots, but you can't yet use them because right now it uses the item from the inventory right now, which is a big mess. So I gotta go back and actually like fix all that. That's one of the big things I gotta do. But I plan on fixing that later on. It's not a big deal. That's actually something that's pretty easy to fix. So mostly just changing a few things. But I think that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I think that's everything. Pretty soon I'm going to be working on like tabs for this menu. The inventory system is going to have like probably I'm thinking a tab system. So like there might even be like a big bar that goes across the top here that actually says like inventory, skills, and then maybe like I don't know what the other one would be. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to decide. I might have some other feature that I might need. But that way, when you're in the inventory, if you click on the tabs, you'll be able to go to the other sections. So you could just go right to the skill tree section, or right to a different section, um, and back and forth. And you won't have to close the inventory and then go into the skills and all that thing. I mean, it'll kind of make it a lot more efficient. Some games don't really do that, and they expect you to, close the item that you're in, or hit escape, and then open the other, skill tree, press another button to open a skill tree, and even AAA titles that I know of that I even play, they do it like that. They have specific buttons for each thing. But I just really want to be able to have it so that when somebody's in their inventory, if they want to, check their skills really quick, it's a simple button press. You get in there and you just click the tab, skills, and it just transfers you to the skills page, and then you can modify your skill tree or whatever. So yeah, anyway, I think I'm pretty much done here. So thanks again for checking it out, and I hope you guys are enjoying these little videos with my updates and stuff. So as always, I'm going to continue to kind of post stuff and keep everybody updated on what I'm doing here with this project. Pretty soon it's going to actually be able to be play tested. Maybe in the next, I'm thinking in the next 6 months to a year, I'll have it ready to be play tested by people. And at that point, then I'll be taking it into further steps and trying to get, hopefully, maybe by then I'll even have multiplayer support into it. So anyway, thanks again for watching.